The Nazi flag, red background, white circle, black swastika. Designed by Hitler himself in 1920, it became Germany's official flag in 1935. The red represented socialism. Yeah, they lied about that too. White for nationalism, and the swastika for the Aryan race. This flag flew over the Holocaust, World War II, and the systematic murder of over 10 million civilians. It represented a regime that tried to conquer Europe, exterminate entire populations, and create a thousand-year Reich that thankfully lasted only 12. Today, banned across Germany, Austria, Poland, Hungary, France, Italy, basically everywhere it once marched. The UK doesn't have a specific ban, but prosecutes under hate speech laws. Display it and you're looking at up to 3 years in prison in Germany, 5 in Austria. Even museums need special permits to display it. Video games had to remove swastikas until 2018. eBay bans listings. Facebook auto-deletes it. But somehow you can still wave it in parts of the US because free speech. Europe watched this flag destroy the continent and said, never again. America said, well, technically. The only flag in history that turned an ancient religious symbol into something so evil that geometry itself became criminal. The Ustash flag? Red, white, and blue stripes with Croatia's checkerboard shield, but starting with a white square instead of red. That tiny detail is the difference between modern Croatian pride and celebrating a puppet regime that ran concentration camps. The Ustasha were Croatian fascists whose brutality even made some Nazi officials complain about their methods. They murdered hundreds of thousands of Serbs, Jews, and Roma. Their Jasenovac camp was Auschwitz without the German efficiency, just raw brutality. Croatia prosecutes the flag under anti-fascist and hate speech laws. Serbia and Bosnia have explicit bans, but the checkerboard pattern is still on Croatia's modern flag, just starting with a red square instead of white. Croatians insist the red first version is ancient heraldry predating fascism. Serbs say any checkerboard is Ustasha symbolism. The arguments get violent. During the Yugoslav wars in the 1990s, both versions reappeared. Football matches between Croatia and Serbia still occasionally feature banned Ustasha symbols in the stands, leading to FIFA fines and diplomatic incidents. Imagine your country's flag being 1 square away from genocide and having to explain that at every football match. The Soviet flag. Red background, golden hammer, and sickle golden star. Supposed to represent workers and peasants uniting. Actually represented gulags, mass starvation, and authoritarian control over half of Europe. Stalin's death toll? Depending on who you ask. In the same league, maybe even higher than Hitler's. The Holodomor starved millions of Ukrainians. The Great Purge executed anyone who looked at Stalin wrong. Eastern Europe got decades of occupation, oppression, and economic devastation that they're still recovering from. Today, it's explicitly banned in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. Poland and Hungary ban communist symbols under broader anti-totalitarian laws. In Ukraine, displaying it gets you 5 years in prison. They're not messing around. But travel west and communists still wave it at protests in France, Italy, and Spain. Eastern Europeans watch Western leftists romantically wave the flag of their former occupiers and wonder if everyone's lost their minds. The flag that promised workers paradise and delivered not paradise, but Siberian labor camps, but still shows up on hipster t-shirts in Brooklyn. The Francoist Spain flag, Spain's flag with the black eagle of St. John, arms spread wide clutching the state coat of arms. Franco added it after winning the Civil War, and it flew over 36 years of fascist dictatorship. Franco's regime killed between 100,000 and 200,000 political opponents, many during and after the Spanish Civil War. Thousands more died in concentration camps. Children were stolen from leftist families and given to regime supporters. The country became Europe's last fascist holdout, finally ending only when Franco died in his bed in 1975. Spain's relationship with this flag is complicated. It's not explicitly illegal. Spain never properly de-Francofied, like Germany de-Nazified. The flag still appears at far-right rallies, football matches, and protests. The Conservative Popular Party used similar imagery until recently. In 2007, Spain passed the historical memory law banning Francoist symbols from public buildings. but enforcement is spotty at best. You can't fly it from government buildings, but private display isn't criminal. Some military units kept using Francoist symbols until 2020. Far-right marches in Madrid still openly fly it without consequences. The only fascist flag in Europe that got a retirement party instead of a ban, because apparently fascism is fine if you just wait it out. The Italian fascist flag. The Italian tricolor with the fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe, ancient Roman symbol that gave fascism its name. Mussolini slapped it on everything from 1926 to 1943. This flag represented the original fascist state. Mussolini invented fascism, Hitler just made it famous. Under this banner, Italy invaded Ethiopia using chemical weapons, allied with Nazi Germany, and introduced racial laws that sent thousands of Jews to death camps. Italy's approach to banning it is classic Italian, technically illegal but practically ignored. The Selba Law of 1952 bans fascist symbols and reorganizing the fascist party. But the law requires proving intent to restore fascism, not just waving the flag. The fasces symbol itself? Still everywhere in Italy. It's on old buildings, monuments, even some modern logos. The town of Perdapio, Mussolini's birthplace, sells fascist memorabilia openly. Every year, thousands gather to march with fascist flags on the anniversary of the March on Rome, Italy, where fascist symbols are illegal unless they're on tourist merchandise, historical buildings, or being waved by people who are definitely not fascists. The Chetnik flag, black flag with skull and crossbones and the Serbian cross, sometimes with freedom or death written in Cyrillic. The Chetnik started as Yugoslav royalist resistance against the Nazis. Then everything went sideways. They collaborated with Axis forces when convenient, fought everyone including themselves, and became infamous for ethnic massacres. The Chetniks committed ethnic cleansing against Croats, Bosniaks, and Albanians while claiming to fight for Yugoslavia. They collaborated with both Axis and allies whenever it suited them. Their leader, Draža Mihailović, was executed for war crimes in 1946, but was rehabilitated by Serbian courts in 2015 because the Balkans never let anything go. The flag resurged during the Yugoslav wars in the 1990s. Serbian paramilitaries adopted Chetnik symbols while committing war crimes in Bosnia and Croatia. It still appears at Serbian football matches and nationalist rallies. It's banned in Croatia and Bosnia, where displaying it can get you arrested for inciting ethnic hatred. In Serbia, it's controversial but legal. The government distances itself officially but tolerates its use at certain events. At international football matches, UEFA fines teams when fans display it. A flag that says freedom or death wielded by people who usually chose death, just not their own. 6 flags, hundreds of millions dead, and Europe still can't agree on what to do with the cloth. Some countries ban them completely, turning fabric into contraband. Others allow them under historical context, whatever that means. A few pretend they don't exist while their citizens wave them at football matches. Every time one shows up, it's less about history and more about picking a fight in the present. They're reminders that Europe's last century was soaked in blood and that the ideologies behind these flags didn't completely die with the regimes that created them. The tragedy isn't that these flags existed. It's that 100 years later, we're still arguing about whether waving them is free speech or call to repeat history's worst chapters.